I will say, ladies, you know, you might think that your guy out there, you might have a boyfriend or a fiance or a husband. You might think he's not, he's not perverted. He doesn't watch porn, like whatever. I guarantee you completely untrue. Your guy is as perverted as you will allow him to be in all cases, and no matter what. Like, if you say that he can do it, he's going to do it. Like, so the guy was like, so, okay, I want you to tell me how pathetic my dick is in comparison to my dad's.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Mentors Collective. I've got a super special episode for you. We're really going to dive into big entrepreneurial trend of 2020, 2021, OnlyFans. And if you stick with me on this episode, not only going to learn how to be super successful on OnlyFans, but we are going to talk about some of the strangest OnlyFans requests that my boy has ever seen or gotten. And I just want to give a really special welcome to a good friend of mine, Neil Dufva, also well known as Hood Rat Sloth. Neil founded a tech company in 2008 called Crunchy Tech. Still running strong, but now he does something pretty unique that I'm going to let him tell you about. Neil, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Yeah, anytime. I'm glad to be here. I recently, probably a month or two ago, I got this tattoo of a QR code on my arm. You've seen it before, but that actually goes to my OnlyFans. I think OnlyFans kind of got like a big boost during quarantine because people were stuck at home, couldn't do anything, but it created a lot of superstars, and it created a lot of people, like creators out there. Now I've been doing my own OnlyFans for a long time. I've gotten together 16 like really high quality girls, and I'm running them as a team. I'm managing them and promoting them, and doing photo shoots for them, and all this kind of stuff. And so we run into like a lot of crazy scenarios. We get a lot of crazy requests because there's so many different kinks out there. There's some cool stuff, and there's some weird stuff for sure.
I can't wait to open that up and really dig into it. But for the people who are listening, maybe aren't in on the trends, why don't you just tell us a brief overview of what is OnlyFans and
Sure.
why is it so hot right now?
Yeah, so like OnlyFans is a site kind of similar to Instagram that you can put your content up, and people can like it, comment on it. But with OnlyFans, it's made as a pay to view platform. You can have accounts that are like free to subscribe to, but ultimately OnlyFans is a way for creators out there, whether you want to say they're artists, whether they are dancers, or somebody who is just like kind of being a model, taking off clothes. There's a way for them to make money and really be their own like business owner, and it's something like that their account is something that they constantly grows, and you constantly have to grind with it, and be interactive with your guests, your clients, do collaborations with other people on OnlyFans, and it's all about kind of internet marketing. So everyone is kind of like out there marketing themselves now, and it's kind of been a big thing because it gives people more freedom to work from home, to be able to kind of do what they love.
Love it. And it really is empowering for creators to kind of make money directly from their content, straight to the consumer. People get to pay them for that exclusive content, no matter what it is. And
besides like all the crazy requests, there's also people on there who are doing like cooking channels. Rock bands are like giving out only exclusive material on OnlyFans, like for their top fans. So it's like there's a lot of other people who are doing things other than pornographic or some kind of like sexy material. So that's cool to see as well.
It is, absolutely. And before we get into the juicy stuff between how much money you can make on OnlyFans or some of those wild requests, let's talk about the business for a while, because that's what Mentors Collective is all about. And it is a pretty unique business model.
Yeah.
It's letting creators sign up, and whether it's a paid subscription to view their content, or giving the customer access to talk to them, or giving the customer access to new content that they're creating and on a free channel that they have.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's people like artists like Tyga, for example. He makes music, and he's like a big, I don't know if you call him a rapper or an R&B artist, but whatever you want to call him. He has content that has nothing to really do with his music on his OnlyFans, where he's like partying, a lot of girls, a lot of sexy scenarios. So, if you're a fan of Tyga, You can be like, oh, well, I also want to follow him on his OnlyFans. I want to see his crazy lifestyle because he has a very crazy lifestyle. You can really go deeper with, oh, who is this person? What do they do in their free time? Like, how do they have fun? Because you can't see that a lot of times. You can't see that visibility. But this kind of platform does help you do that.
Yeah, I love it. Kind of connects with the fan on a more personal base than like an Instagram would, where they're just following with everybody else.
Yeah, and what the other thing is too is like, people consume a lot of pornography or whatever it is, but what's different about Pornhub and like those kind of porn websites is like a lot of times these people are just kind of like, they're kind of like a celebrity in that world. You're never going to get to know them. You're never going to be able to like a lot of times relate to who they are. With OnlyFans, a lot of times these people are people in your community that you already know, that you can actually message, they'll message you back, you can get to know them. They do like a lot more like live discussion, so you can actually fall in love with their personality or like their personality, which is important when it comes to somebody who wants to spend money, because you can just go to Pornhub. People may get their temporary fix, but that's just a free video and I'm just going to watch it and I'm like probably not going to care about that person again. So this is like a different thing. It's like supporting local businesses versus big conglomerates almost. This is kind of what I would say.
Yeah, I love it. It's empowering people to be independent and make their own money.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk for a second about how OnlyFans makes money. It's pretty easy about how the end user, the creator, makes the money. They sell the content. OnlyFans business model, how do they profit?
Yeah, so they profit as like the platform holder. So for example, how Apple, they charge, any apps that are charging money to end clients, like 20% or 30% of every single transaction fee. OnlyFans is taking 20% of total, like net. So you make $100. Well, you actually really only make $80 because $20 is going to them.
So that's kind of a crazy thing. And I've talked to you about this at the park briefly.
Yeah.
That 20% is a massive chunk.
It is, but
why so loyal to OnlyFans?
Well, I think that there's other platforms out there that I know take 10% or 5%, but those other platforms are kind of, I wouldn't say they're really geared toward the subscriber that you're looking for. It depends on like why you're creating on OnlyFans, I think, because that one that we discussed, that was like more of like a band artist, Patreon, which I think they do 5% or 10%.
Yeah,
but I feel like that is a community that's more based around artists and artwork and that kind of thing, where OnlyFans is serving kind of a different community. And OnlyFans puts out this massive platform that, to be honest, it requires like a lot of big back end, they're hosting a lot of files, they're providing a payment gateway, they're doing verifications, they're like making sure that it's hard for people to get scammed and whatnot, like the whole Bella Thorne thing. A lot of people talk about that. She made I think about $3 million in a day, and it caused like a big uproar because she was saying she was going to offer naked pictures, and then there was no naked pictures, and a lot of people were upset. So then a lot of OnlyFans creators then were upset after that because they put in some rules that they felt shouldn't really have affected.
So just hovering there for a minute, because that was super interesting, and I feel like everybody has heard about the Bella Thorne incident, where a whole bunch of people subscribed to her channel, were expecting nudes from Bella Thorne, didn't get what they were looking for, and had already paid, and now you've got thousands of chargebacks on your hand.
I know people are going to hate that I say this, but for me, Bella Thorne, I was never mad about what she did. Like, to me, the hustle is the hustle, and I'm always going to respect the hustle. For the fact of the matter that she could get $3 million in one day just because she was going to show a nipple, like, that's insane to me. And like, but if you have that power, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, sure, get your chargebacks. But like, it's kind of like a flex, to be honest. Like, hey, I can make $3 million in a day, promise all these things, maybe not deliver, but hey, it was kind of like a publicity stunt at the end of the day. So, all the girls out there who are on OnlyFans, guys out there, whatever, I respect the hustle, and it's a grind, and it's work. What I think is the funniest thing about the Bella Thorne is we're going away again from the local business. You're going back to the big conglomerate, the Walmarts, the Targets. That's Bella Thorne. And I mean, it's kind of no wonder that you get burned. Like, it's not the mom and pop shop that's going to like take care of you. It's some big celebrity that just gives no fucks about you. That's
yeah,
what I think.
It's true. And I think people are also so enraged because it's like Walmart's coming into OnlyFans. It's coming in on their territory.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you think she was really taking market share away from these other girls, these local girls who are trying to make a living? Or do you think there's plenty to go around?
I think there's plenty to go around, just because, let's say, with Bella Thorne, she probably brought a lot of account signups that never even touched OnlyFans
users,
before.
yeah.
So then, hey, all right, these people are pissed at this girl. You're either going to like never go on OnlyFans again, or they're going to explore, or they're going to try to find somebody new. So it could actually be a blessing in disguise. Hard to tell.
Yeah, that's a crazy incident. There was another one recently we were just talking about before the episode where one of the creators who had posted nudes on her OnlyFans then offered an exclusive picture of, I think her title was "Look Ma, No Panties," and made them pay to see that photo. And people paid and got a photo of a 6-year-old without her pants on. Which was
that girl, it was her, but still crazy. And this is like a new story to me, which is, it's really crazy, really interesting, because OnlyFans has like a lot of like rules, regulations, obviously. Obviously nothing under 18. But you also can't have pictures of your pet in any of your shots, like your pets, animals. I guess that kind of gets into some kind of bestiality realm, even if they just happen to like be randomly in the background, like you're not even putting them in the shot, they're just like walk by, like they don't like that.
That's a crazy rule.
Yeah, it is. But so they have like a lot of things like that, to where they're trying to protect, but obviously it's an 18 and up site. I'm sure some things get out there, but that's a mishap. That's people are going to make weird mistakes like that, just like the weird requests that come in.
Yeah, I'm pumped to get into those. All right, so you manage some people who are doing very well on OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like a 21st century gold rush. I don't know how long it's going to last, and if people are going to start taking all the market share.
Yeah.
Like Instagram, it's very hard to grow on Instagram now because there's so much attention on there to a very select group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to happen to OnlyFans, but who should be thinking about taking advantage of this right now? Like who is to gain if you're like really trying to become independent, make a living, be an entrepreneur? Who should go into this?
It's got to be a certain type of person. It's got to be like, I'm in all of the groups on Facebook that are like OnlyFans related, and I see so many people who post, they're like, oh my God, I can't get any subscribers. What am I doing wrong? And I see this day in and day out. But you've got to be a person who's like willing to go out and learn. You have to go look for advice. You've got to ask for advice. You've got to think outside the box. You've got to go attack platforms that you've never attacked before, like Reddit, Twitter. A lot of these ones are ones that like people aren't really in tune with, because Reddit is a little bit more complicated than all the other platforms, like by far. And there's like a lot of rules that are hidden in different subreddits. Being somebody who is not afraid to go get a TikTok. Like before OnlyFans, I didn't even have a TikTok. I refused to get a TikTok. Now I have a TikTok because I just know it's an important part of the equation, and you're not just building up your OnlyFans count. Really, you're building up a brand, and that brand is you. And that, like, all of your social media encompasses your brand. And so if you're missing one, you're taking away the chance that some other users would have been able to like see you, stumble upon you, and then maybe follow you and like you. So it's got to be people who are willing to grind. OnlyFans is not a quick thing, especially if you don't have an agency like mine to sit there and like blow you up and advertise you. Like, we pay to advertise our girls. It's a daily, like, you're doing shout for shouts with people. Like, I'm trading, I'm putting you on my page, you put me on your page. I'm going to the Facebook groups and I'm like typing in and saying, hey, go look at my page, I've got this cool shit. I'm going on a Twitter, I'm doing tweets. I'm going on a Reddit and I'm posting there. I'm making Instagram stories. Like, this is like a day job. Like you could use every single minute in the day, and it's really still might not be enough promotion. So it's got to be somebody who's willing to understand that there's a grind, and it's something like, It's like real estate almost. Like the longer you have it and the longer you take care of it, the more money you'll make. And it's like a house. It'll gain value if you keep gaining followers, because the more followers you have, the more opportunity you have to make money. Like when you send out a mass message and you're like, hey, pay to unlock this picture, you just have more opportunity for people to actually want to buy it.
Yeah, it's like building an email list. I love that. Talk to me about your business model, because that's pretty intriguing too.
Sure.
I mean, you promote these girls. You make a cut of what they make. And
Sure.
Talk to me about all of that. How does it work?
So yeah, we charge basically 20 to 40% of what the girl makes, and it depends on a couple different factors. Number one is how many followers does she have? 2,000 or less, 10,000 to 2,000, 11,000 to 20,000. These are all like kind of like milestones that we've seen that, all right, well, she has this many followers in this category, and it could be TikTok, it could be Instagram, whatever. Twitter does well. Okay, so she already has this kind of following. We have to do less work, so we'll charge you less of a percentage. That's how we go in. And then also the other main thing is, are you going to own the OnlyFans? Are you going to claim it and have it in your bio? Are you going to put stories out about it? We have girls on the team who we don't even have their real name on there because they don't want any advertisement of it on their own profile. They don't want anyone to know about it. So all they do is they just send us in pictures and video, upload it to a shared album, and then we take care of scheduling all the content and doing everything for them. And they don't have to like worry about family finding out or friends finding out. It's more of like a side hustle for them, and they just get a check every week, and like they like it like that. Some girls are very involved and they want to like be seeing what their fans are talking about all the time, doing a lot of the engagement themselves, and that kind of thing.
I'm sure those are the ones that are the most successful, because
Yes.
a lot of their fans want to connect with them on a personal level.
For sure. It obviously engagement and being interactive with your customer base is always going to make you better at what you do, and like to help you understand what they want.
For a lot of the girls, and I have friends who are on OnlyFans and who are very successful that I've talked to who show me their statements and are making buku dollars. And you help grow OnlyFans accounts as a job. So I'd love to hear from you, your perspective. What are your top tips kind of for being successful on OnlyFans?
At first, kind of focus on OnlyFans promotion for your OnlyFans, which sounds stupid, but there's a lot of different ways you can promote your OnlyFans. And I'm gonna actually send you like this good book that I have that I got on Amazon. It's by a friend of mine. He actually wrote it. He dives deep into every single way. And Reddit is such a good tool. Twitter is such a good tool. But I think the easiest, best results for people who are just starting out, find OnlyFans accounts that have big followings. Like, when I say big followings, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 followers. Like those are the equivalent of millions of followers on Instagram. So you find them and you pay them to shout you out. You pay them like it's like they have a menu. You message them and they're like, hey, how much does it cost for you to do this, this, and this? And they'll have like a lot of times a picture or like a text menu and says, no, this is what it costs for having something up for 5 days, pinned. This is what it costs for doing this. And that is how you'll get the most immediate results. Then you get to a stage where you need to start promoting other places. You need to start promoting Instagram, the Reddits, the Twitters, and you're going to have to start building all of your following kind of together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what is the best kind of model to set up your account that you've seen? Because you could do the subscription model.
Right.
Or you can do the freemium model.
Gotcha. So that's a really good question, because I see girls starting new accounts all the time, and their first instinct is to have a subscription fee. Every single girl. And they do it. I think about it and like, yeah, sure, it makes sense. From the beginning, it's like, oh yeah, I want to have this recurring monthly revenue coming in, whether it's $15 a month. I see girls charge between $12 and $20 a month when they first start. And it really hinders them. It really kind of handicaps them, because there's an entire market of people on OnlyFans who don't want to pay subscriptions because they don't know who the fuck you are yet. So why are they going to pay to see you when they have no connection to you? So what your goal should be, girls or boys, is that you start your account and you do a free subscription at least until you get 1,000 followers. Once you have 1,000 followers, okay, maybe you say, oh, I'm going to do $5 or $10 a month. But really, your better bet is you create 2 accounts at the same time. One is free, one is paid. And your goal with the free one is you're just going to get as many followers as you can, thousands and thousands of followers. And then you'll promote, and you'll still sell things on your free account, but you also promote your paid account. So you're building 2 houses at the same time, and then they're both can be revenue producers.
I like that. I've never heard that before. That sounds like a genius idea.
All the girls who make tons of money, they always have 2 accounts. So if you go to their little link tree, it'll be like premium OnlyFans, free OnlyFans, because they don't want to alienate people who don't want to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah, so they want to get the subscriber, and then you upsell. You try, and it's the value ladder, baby. I
Yep,
love it.
Exactly.
Obviously, I've been around. I'm on Instagram. I've seen OnlyFans accounts. The bio, because what you see when you first enter a girl's OnlyFans accounts before you subscribe is just a profile picture, a username, and a bio.
Yep.
And a lot of times you don't know what you're signing up for. And just like the Bella Thorne incident, who did not disclose, apparently, that she did not have nudes in the bio. Mm-hmm. And I've seen some girls say it outright, like right in the bio, like no
They say
nudity.
exactly what they have. They have they'll say, I have feet pics, I've got, naked twerking videos, I have sex videos. And then some people, there's just no bio. It's very just kind of up in the air. I think that doing a good bio, that's real and true, probably a good idea. Because, if you do the Bella Thorne thing, sure, you might fool some people for a little bit, a couple times, but then eventually they'll just unfollow you. They'll back charge you and just...
Subscription's no good if it only lasts 1 month.
Yeah.
You might get some money up front, but you deal with chargebacks, deal with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We just talked about something else that was really interesting that I thought was really good advice before the show, and that was being funny, just really connecting on a personal level. What
I'm doing is kind of similar to, I think, what Dan Blazarian was doing, which is he created this model company called Ignite. He had his super hot model girls. A lot of them did OnlyFans, but they just claimed bankruptcy. And I think that a big part of why that kind of Dan business failed, not because he didn't have the capital or the resources and the hot girls, he had everything, but there was no funny. And I think that for OnlyFans and for people to get to know people now, because there's so many hot people on Instagram, there's dime a dozen now. You want to stand out, you've got to be hot and funny. And if you're not hot, you damn well better be fucking funny. Because what the fuck do I care then? Being funny, make them fall in love with your personality. They will give you more money every single time. And that's what I believe. So I always stress in our content, hot, but funny. And anything that I do is really going to be centered around, is going to be funny. Especially on Instagram, I try to make funny content. People can laugh, give some people a chuckle. I try to do funny stories because I think that really builds a bond. And that personal bond is why people will actually give you money.
Yeah, 100%. And if you guys aren't already following this guy, go check out the link in the bio and go follow Hood Rat Sloth. He's entertaining for sure.
I just try to do little skits here and there and try to bring the girls in and have them do funny TikToks, and let's all step up our game, and create the best content possible. That's what we're here to do.
Amen. Funny sells. All right, let's talk about the money. This is we're going to get into some of the juicy stuff that people want to hear. So talk to me about some of the numbers that your girls are doing.
Sure.
And then talk to me about some of the numbers that you've seen girls do, because I've heard some ridiculous shit.
Girls on my team, we have girls that, like I said, they do very little, and these girls may be making $5,000-$6,000 a month. Then there's girls who are grinding with us, and we're promoting the shit out of them, and they're also grinding. These girls are sometimes making $18,000 to $25,000 a month. We're increasing them, and we're bringing them their percentage down into the top creators, getting into the 1% and whatnot. But I know of other agencies and other girls who have been on OnlyFans for long periods of time where they're making $50,000 to $80,000 a month. That's not uncommon for a girl that has a huge following, 50,000 followers, 40,000 followers. They can be making 50 to 80,000 a month, especially if they have good content. Sky's the limit, because let's say if I'm a girl with a free account making $50,000, I might also have a paid account that's making $20,000. So then it kind of opens up a lot of doors for you if you can get to that level, because now you have like a lot of recognition on a platform that you can advertise, shout people out. You can make money just by shouting people out. You can, a lot of times companies contact us, hey, we want your girls to like do some promo with these products, like, and we'll give you this money, whatever. So you now have a platform where you have a ton of following, where people actually spend money, which is big, because Instagram, there's a ton of people on there who are young. They don't have no spending power. On OnlyFans, probably has one of the highest percentages of spending power audience, I would say. It's like right away. So, that's powerful. And then it'll also just, putting your other things in your bio, like your other social medias, you can grow them too, because, the people are just going to want to know more about you.
How does a girl do those kind of numbers? I guess just cracking it down. I mean, if you have 10,000 subscribers paying you like $10 a month, $10,000 right there. And then what, you sell a premium picture for like 10 to 20 bucks to another 10 to 20,000 people.
Yeah. So for example, with with my OnlyFans, even me, all my videos that I sell on my page are $20 or higher. Now, granted, they're a little bit more risque content than any of like stuff that my girls are posting, and they're normally a lot longer than anything my girls are posting. But it's all about, I guess, kind of how you feel, how you gauge what your stuff is worth, and if people are willing to pay for it. I never put my videos at $40. Maybe I could have, but I was like, no, I mean, these seem to be selling well. But you can always test. Like, you can always go back and forth and say, this picture today, I'm going to do $5. This picture, I'm going to do $15. You know what it is like, it's also work on the caption. Like, let's say you got these 10,000 followers. I'm going to give you, this is like, ladies, this is real premium advice, and I hope you're listening. If I take some nudes outside my house, and I say, here's 2 different captions that I'll give you. One is, oh man, so sexy. Took some nudes. I've got some peach emojis, squirt emojis, $20 to unlock. Versus, oh my God, I just took some nudes in my backyard. My neighbors ended up seeing me. So embarrassing, but really hot. Unlock $20. The difference in those 2 captions, and you can do an A and B test and see what would get more money. It's going to be the interesting caption every freaking time. So we're not talking about just creativity in your photo shoots or the pictures or video that you're taking. You've got to be good with what you're saying. It's your text has to also be, your text in this instance is almost more important than the fucking media, because you're not letting someone see something and saying, like, your text is the only description of what it is. So be good on those captions. Otherwise, you're missing out on so much revenue.
Yeah, you got to learn marketing, learn attention. Absolutely. Now I got to ask, your $20 videos that you said are longer and more risque, and then some that you might be able to charge $40 and $50 for. Yeah. I guess you judge that based on like your perceived value of the content that you're putting on there. Yeah. What kind of content is this?
So I have really two or 3 types of videos on my OnlyFans. One is sex videos. Then 2 is like girls partying, like hot girls partying. Like Florida has, is such an abundant state of, number 1, attractive girls, and number 2, it's the only state right now that actually is allowed to party, because we're not under strict lockdown like all the other states. So there's just this sense of, hey guys, we're going to have a good time. Like, quarantine kind of really, I think, brought a lot of people down, depressed a lot of people. And it's now kind of like Florida is on this world stage of, hey, everyone's looking at us. They're watching our stories because they're living vicariously through us. They want to have a feeling of hope, like they will be able to do that soon, I think. So it's like a girls gone wild on, jet fuel. So yeah, there's just a lot of partying and dance and club stuff and cool stuff like that. Some videos I in those categories I just put out there for free, and some videos are kind of I think very compelling, and that's when I charge. Yeah.
Awesome.
But really, my OnlyFans is really not there to I make decent money on my OnlyFans, but it was more of kind of hey, this is a cool thing that is a hobby that I actually like. Yeah. And then it also helps me understand how to better manage my girls and promote them and do better work for them.
Yeah, you can't understand the platform fully unless you're actually on there doing it yourself.
Every day.
100%.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the future of OnlyFans. Like, where do you see this going? This is such a new idea, and I'm sure it's evolved a lot even in the past like year or two.
For sure.
You think this is going to last forever? You think it's going to evolve? You think OnlyFans is here to stay?
Yeah, like, so I kind of have two theories about, OnlyFans' future. Right now, for the people who are out there, I would say it's important to start your OnlyFans now if you're interested. But I think in a year and a half, everyone literally will have an OnlyFans that'll be almost as common as Instagram. By then, it will be similar to how Instagram is now, where it's hard to grow because there's so much noise. Right now, it's still, I want to say, wild, wild west, and there's still an ability to grow. But I do think in a year and a half, 2 years, everyone will have an OnlyFans, and it'll just be so common. And not that it won't be an important platform to have, it'll just be a platform that'll be hard to grow on organically.
Eventually I hope to make one, and for my own sorts of educational content.
You've got so much different kind of content that can go on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People, they want to pay for your opinions. They want to pay for your advice on certain things.
For sure.
And, typically people have just given it away for free, but I think people would pay for it.
What's interesting is, like, I have people who follow me on Instagram who they don't even follow me on OnlyFans, but they love my Instagram stories so much that they just Venmo me or Cash App me and just be like, thanks for, always keeping me entertained when I open your fucking story. I love it. Like, there are people who are like, they message me and they're like, Neil, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I go to the toilet, I sit down and I watch your story. And that's like my daily routine. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. So people do respect content. They do pay for their Netflix. They do pay for their Hulu. Like, they will, pay for, if you stand out and do something that they love, then they will pay you. They will reward you.
That's awesome. That's crazy. All right, now let's get into some fun stuff. People waited. They waited through the business talk and the other stuff. You told me some crazy shit right before we started this episode.
Yeah.
About some of the ridiculous requests that your girls get on OnlyFans and some of the practices that are currently going on. And I just want to open with, men are disgusting creatures for some of this stuff that you told me.
Yeah. And
it is just wild. So I just want to kind of open it up. Let's talk about some of these strange OnlyFans requests.
Yeah. I guess I've learned so much. Like, I thought I knew a lot about the sexual community, or like, being very experienced in sexual experience in general, but then OnlyFans kind of taught me, like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of things that I just don't know. I will say, ladies, you might think that your guy out there, you might have a boyfriend or a fiance or a husband. You might think he's not perverted. He doesn't watch porn, like whatever. That's, I guarantee you, completely untrue. Your guy is as perverted as you will allow him to be in all cases, and no matter what. Like, if you say that he can do it, he's going to do it. Like, so girls out there, keep your relationship exciting. Like, don't let it fizzle out. There's so many different ways, like, you can research. Some of the really interesting requests that we get have to do with dick ratings. Now, this is a really kind of crazy category. Dick ratings encompasses a lot of different media, but guys will pay like my OnlyFans girls to essentially look at pictures and video of their penis and then comment on it, like whether that's a voice note or a personalized video about that. And this video is maybe like 20, 30 seconds, maybe a minute, depending on how crazy the girl gets. But there's like crazy categories underneath dick ratings. Like, for example, there's SPH, and I talk about this on my podcast, Joy Ride or Die. But SPH is small penis humiliation, and this is actually a big request. And I had no idea that. I guess there's guys who have, very small penises. We're talking about like less than, 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever. And they love or get off to or have the kink of hearing somebody bash their junk, saying, oh my God, that's so small. I would never have sex with that. Basically shitting on their life. And they love that. I've like theorized a lot about like why anyone would want to be degraded in that way. I've come up with some ideas, like maybe this person is, the head of this company, super powerful and always running the show. No one ever like says anything bad about him. And maybe, when he's behind closed doors, he wants the opposite of what he's normally getting, all the time. So it could be something like that. Everyone has their kinks. I'm not going to kink shame. My main theory of why dick ratings are such a big thing, like a big request on OnlyFans, is a lot of girls out there get dick pics, sometimes unsolicited, sometimes solicited. But I would just venture to guess that 95, 96% of all the dick pics that are sent get no response. And what do guys like out there? They like attention. They like interactivity. They like personal. So if I send a dick pic to 1,000 girls and I get, 1 or 2 responses, that dick indifference is probably a little bit crushing. So maybe I'll go pay a girl to actually like look at it, talk about it, say something instead of like just no text message back, no like email back, whatever it is. I think that's why that's an important one. Recently I have this girl who just joined the team. She's a dominatrix. She was telling me about a guy who she was doing small penis humiliation to, and the guy was like, so, okay, I want you to tell me how pathetic my dick is in comparison to my dad's. And like that story just blew my mind. Number one, why do you have any kind of media of your dad's penis? Like that's questionable. And number two, that's going to a whole new level of just hurtful that I don't know. I just can't see how anyone likes that.
We'll never be able to understand because you don't have that kind of screwed up relationships with our fathers.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I don't even, who knows the psychology behind it? Maybe there's like some crazy stories.
There's something wild.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so those are the kind of things that pop up that are just, and like a lot of one that has popped up a lot recently is guys wanting the girls to watch them and comment on them eating their own semen. Like, so they jerk off, the semen goes somewhere, then they put it in their mouth. Like, this is all new to me too. So this one is the most recent one because the small penis humiliation, all right, that's been going on for 6 months to a year. The semen eating, like that's new to me. Like I'm
just imagining one of the girls sitting there trying to watch this with a straight face.
What do they say? I mean, eventually they get
don't do it.
They get like desensitized to it, but still, like it's like I don't know. It's weird, and and girls out there, I don't want you to think that you have to do these things to make money on OnlyFans. You can do whatever you're comfortable with. I have girls on our team, like 3 or 4 girls that don't even do nudity and they're still making good money. Tropical Nicole, shout out Tropical Nicole. She's crushing it. She does no nudity. Carrie Sweat, she's also one of my rising stars. She does no nudity. And so it's all about, the show, the presenting, your content. You can do great things without having to do things that you're uncomfortable with.
Yeah, and I think people just want to talk to pretty people. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of the time...
Or interesting people.
Yeah. They just want the opportunity to talk to them. And it's really not that expensive for a lot of people just to have access to have a conversation with somebody that you're entertained by and find interesting.
Even creators on there, they sell on like their tip menu, like, hey, $20 for 5 minutes of texting. And maybe they'll use a Google Voice number, maybe they'll use their real text number, but just that back and forth that feels good. Like, hey, I'm texting somebody who I have interest in, and they're like responding and being interactive back.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. And I totally agree. All right, and one final topic I wanted to get into just briefly.
Sure.
And this is a business podcast. I don't want to comment on the ethics or morality of girls.
Sure.
Selling pictures of themselves online, but there's no doubt that it's empowering creators to make money.
For sure.
And to, kind of be independent, to be entrepreneurs on their own through this platform.
And it makes them learn marketing, internet marketing and self-marketing. And a lot of times if you can be successful on OnlyFans, that teaches you self-worth in a lot of ways because there's a lot of people who are like willing to pay for your content, and that's a good feeling in a lot of ways. Ladies, it can actually be empowering, and I want to say my girls feel empowered. So there are people who will shame you for, having an OnlyFans. And, there's people who will shame people for having an Instagram and posting like implied nudity. Sure. Like, so it's kind of the name of the game. And, I think that have self-respect for you, have respect for the content you're doing, and who cares what these guys are saying about whether you have an OnlyFans or not, and, essentially simping and being obsessed with you. Like, you can do you, and you can take care of you, and we will respect your hustle. There's many more guys that will respect your hustle than not. And if you're worried about what a guy will think of you because, like, getting a boyfriend, if he's not going to be supportive with you and how you're making money and your career, I mean, is that the right person for you? Those are the things you have to think about.
Yeah, there's a sense of security for sure. Dating someone who makes their money this way.
Yeah.
And then, what would you say to the people who say this is prostitution? It's like one hop, skip, and a jump from prostitution, and it's dangerous. I don't agree with that statement, but at the same time, it's all a gray line. I mean, it's a gray line between Instagram and OnlyFans. I mean, what is the difference between a bikini and a nipple? Like, yeah, as a medical professional, it's nothing. I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah, my motto with that is obviously #free the nipple. But for me, and you're going into the medical field. It's like all over the place. Guys are able to have their shirts off, and guys have nipples. Like, where is the differentiation? Is just because of breastfeeding? Is that why, like, we care so much about a nipple being shown? I'm not really sure, but what I do know is that, let's say my sisters decided to create an OnlyFans. Not that I would ever subscribe. I would be still the most supportive brother, supportive family member, and I hope people out there, your family members, would also be supportive, because there's only so many careers that are out there. There's only so many jobs, and there's only so many things that you can find that you love. Like, if somebody finds something that they love to do, let's not degrade them for it, like, unless they're paying you to grade their small penis, like they actually want that kind of treatment. But like, if you love being a doctor, like, I'm not gonna go up to you and say, hey, that sucks. Like, well, it
does suck sometimes.
It does suck sometimes, but you're gonna be proud of what you do, and you're not gonna let that bother you. Just like if you're out there and you start an OnlyFans and you start doing well, don't let whatever. There's gonna be dicks out there. There's gonna be guys who suck.
There's always haters.
There's
some girls
always
making $20,000 a month on OnlyFans. You better believe there's going to be a whole bunch of girls calling her a whore.
And guys, you know what I think is, a lot of times recently I've seen the girls, like, lifting up the girls. It's guys that have this, like, very sus kind of attitude, that they're the same guys that believe that strippers are evil and, like, they're like the devil, and never go in a strip club. Like, these people don't understand, like, Orlando, Miami, these strip clubs are like clubs where there's just happens to be naked girls around. Like, it's not like this seedy underbelly that, like, all these people think. These clubs are, like, nice. 11 in Miami is, like, one of the nicest clubs probably in the United States, and it's a strip club. Is there a huge emphasis on the strippers? Not even really, but
they're just there hanging out.
They're there hanging out, essentially. And so once, I think it's about people being comfortable with their own sexuality and just in their own skin. And then once you're that way, you can be more comfortable with other people being comfortable in their own skin as well.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, and totally agree. And we'll see what the
future holds.
Obviously, there's a lot of moral and ethical questions that it brings up, and that's a question for someone else's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm glad to dig into the business of it. And it's obviously the big thing to take away from this is it is a freaking massive opportunity for a lot of people out there, and a lot of creators out there to capitalize on their content. There's girls who spend half of their life creating content for Instagram and only earning a few bucks on promotions. And this is a way to really scale that up at a way that's never been available before.
And it's like a very, you promote and you can see the results very quickly. I recommend it, ladies, especially the people, you've got a job, use this as a side hustle. You don't have to do your real name. Like, another thing, ladies, you can wear a masquerade mask. You could do no shots with your face. You could get creative, wear a ski mask or a different mask every single time, and, like, create a personality based off that. There's couples who are doing it, who are crushing it, and I've seen couples doing it with masks. There's so many ways that if you're just like uncomfortable at this point in time with your identity being out there, you can hide it and still, create your content and be, unique and being fulfilled with like, hey, I'm doing something that's I consider artistic or entertaining. I think all entertainment is artistic in its own right.
I just thought of a unique idea for someone who's interested in creating an OnlyFans account, but like disguised. Just like a marshmallow model. You start with a mask on.
Yeah.
No one knows your identity. You build up a massive following.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
a year from then, you're like, all right, $100 to see me without my mask, taking it off.
I love that idea, and I think that is somebody is going to do that no matter what. Like, but yeah, no, it's amazing because you know what the cool thing about those artists that have masks on, like Marshmello, Claptone, there's like a couple different ones, Mala. The cool thing about these people are, at the end of the day, you could really have multiple people who go and do shows, like let's say in different countries, where Claptone will be doing 3 shows at once, like maybe one in Europe, one in the US, and one somewhere else. They can do that because they have a mask and they have multiple people who are trained really well. And so your brand can be,
interesting thought,
different places.
You think they do that?
Oh, I know they do it. I know them personally.
Marshmello is just everywhere.
Now, Marshmello, I don't know about Marshmello, but I know Claptone does it for 100%.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's genius. All right, guys, just to wrap this one up, I think some really fun takeaways from this. Well, first of all, if you want to start an OnlyFans account or you have one and just need some help, need some work, where can they find you and connect with you?
Sure. You can go to my Instagram, which is HoodRatSloth. You can also check out our team on Instagram at hoodrat.fans. That's FANS, like OnlyFans. Yeah, like check out our podcast, Joy Ride or Die. I have a lot of the girls who come on there. And like I said, our first episode coming out is going to be a dominatrix. So this girl who just joined the team, she's a really funny girl, really interesting girl who's also a stripper at a local strip club here, and has a lot of crazy things to say. And so, yeah, those are, I guess, the ways.
Yeah, seriously, if you guys want to laugh, definitely check out this guy's Instagram. I'm going to link it all in the show notes here. With that being said, Neil, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. And
thanks for having me.
If you guys love this episode, if you have an OnlyFans account, if you have friends with OnlyFans accounts, take a screenshot of this, tag both of us, Hoodrat Sloth, Dr. J. Feldman, post it on your Instagram account. And I think a lot of people are going to find a lot of the tips and some of the stuff said here constructive, productive, and at least open up some good conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this has been, and this will be, something that is going to keep growing and evolve, and more people are jumping on the bandwagon. And people need to know what it's all about. And for people who are doing it, like, I want you to be successful.
Yeah.
They're entrepreneurs too. They're out there hustling.
And if you have really good tips, because it's a really creative Wild West game out there right now, send them into the podcast, message Jay and just say, hey, this is what I found also works. And, we can post it somewhere, cool audience tips or customer or viewer tips. That's cool too.
Yeah, love it. I've got a good friend, Aspen. She's coming to visit this weekend. You'll meet her. Mm-hmm. She does OnlyFans tips on her TikTok, on her Instagram.
Awesome.
She's super successful.
I love that.
I'll introduce you. You'll love her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, guys, and shout out Aspen. Mm-hmm. Thank you all for tuning into this one. This is a little bit of a change up, but you know how I like to switch it up and give you all of the different, the good, the bad, the dirty of business. It's a giant, fun world out there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want more of it, let me know. Drop a thing in the show notes, drop me a 5-star review, and drop a screenshot. Thank you all. Talk to you next time.
Thanks, guys.